Hi, I'm Josh, and this is Cars and Joshy.
Welcome to Cars and Joshy. Let's not waste any time. Go ahead and LiSCHiN. Oh, what's LiSCHiN? That's like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell for new videos. Let's get to the build. I went ahead and picked up 5 more feet of square tubing, and I was able to get the second foot peg laid out. I just need to tack it and clean it up and go ahead and put my gusset in the middle there, and I think that's gonna be it for the frame. Okay, I know there's a few things I need to do to this to get the spring to operate the way you want it to for a throttle. So I'm gonna start taking this apart and messing with that, and there's a governor on these, so I'm gonna figure out what I need to do to disable that. When you press the throttle lever, it just stays in place. We have to re-rig this to where it springs back to the neutral position. So I'm removing the tank so that I can see all the linkage up underneath it. Okay, so for my return spring and my governor bypass, I'm going to use a method that's a little bit more involved than what I've seen other people do, but it seems to be the best setup without me having to go to the store to get a separate spring or anything like that. So I can use what I already have here. This is going to become my return spring for the throttle. So we're going to be modifying this rod right here, basically. So what's going to happen? So there's this little wing nut stopper thing here with a spring at the bottom. It has a stopper at idle, and it has a stopper at wide open. And basically we want to cut this rod and bend it up to where it hits that stopper when the throttle is all the way open, and then it hits it when it's all the way closed. I'm going to go ahead and mark it where I want my hole, and then mark the rod. I need to drill this out with a 3/32 drill bit. Now I need to go ahead and bend this rod. And what I'm going to do is bend it straight up from here, the opposite direction, at the place where I made my mark. And once you have that up, you're going to bend it again about right there to go out. Alright, so that's how I have it. Might need to bend it more. So there's idle, and there's full throttle. But yes, I'm gonna have to cut it because there's too much slack in there. Well, since I can't grip this enough to bend it into a Z shape, I don't have any Z-bend pliers. I'm gonna try and make my own pliers out of this and essentially notch a little recess in one side of these pliers and see if I can make these work. I realized you couldn't see what I was doing on camera when I had my Dremel tool, but basically this is what I was doing. I was putting a notch in this side of these pliers, so that allowed me to basically put the piece of rod in there. Bent to Z, it looks like to me, so maybe sorta, maybe too short, maybe just right. Let's give it a shot. Looks like that works. So the next thing that we do is we go ahead and loosen up this nut on the top right here. This is what causes it to bind and stick and not spring back. What we're going to do, we're going to take this, hook it right there, and that available hole right there. Gonna loosen this up a little bit at a time. There we go. Wide open, idle. I can bolt everything else back up. Alright, the next thing I want to do is get rid of this low oil sensor, because if it falsely senses that there's no oil in here, it kills the engine. And with the drift trikes and go-karts and stuff like that, it seems to happen a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and snip this black and yellow line that's coming off of the sensor there. I'll go ahead and clip that off. Alright. Other than adding oil and gas, the engine part is done. So I've only got like 2 days to finish this thing up, because I'm getting the El Camino back sooner than I expected. So what I need to do is I need to pull the brake levers back off, and I need to mark on the handlebars. There's a little pin inside this clamp right here, and I need to mark that spot to drill a hole so that'll sit flush and clamp on. So this thing's got a little dowel on the inside of it right there, so I need to mark that spot and drill a hole in the handlebar so this can sit down in there and kind of lock it in place. Now we're in business. I'm gonna stop right there. I went ahead and picked up some throttle cable from Amazon. The one that came with the twist throttle kit was 78 inches long, and it came up too short. And the one that I bought is 100 inches long. So I went ahead and fed it down through here, and now I got more than enough. There's a couple other things that I got. I went ahead and got new handlebar controls or levers for the brakes, because the brake line and everything was, I mean, it came with the levers and everything was like $12. So pretty cheap and they look a lot better than what I had, so I figured why not go ahead and get new. Alright, there's the throttle cable. Okay, I've almost got this thing wrapped up. I got front brakes, I got rear brakes, and I've got throttle. Alright, I think this is going to be just fine. Looks like it's gonna line up pretty good for me. I just need to get this on here. There it goes. All right. So this is how I'm gonna try and get my sleeves on. This is a cheap little Amazon vacuum pump. I'm gonna go ahead and hook the air up to it and see if it can suck the air out of these tires, and then I'm gonna push them down over those sleeves. Alright, I just filled it up with oil and gas and took it off the jack stands. So, alright, here we go. First fire up. It's up and running, so that's gonna do it for this video. And I think by next weekend I'll have the El Camino back in the garage, so I'll pick back up on that. I'm getting it back sooner than I expected, so should see some more El Camino videos soon. Thanks for watching Cars and Joshy. Josh out.